This is like the hardest video I've ever made. I've literally switched the camera on like 18 times today alone. And I've thought about making this video every single hour of every single day for the last 2 weeks, trying to get my words out. And somehow I could not get them out. I should be happy. I just reached 1 million subs here on YouTube and I just turned 30 on the same day, actually. I should be happy. I should be sitting here like celebrating and, and I'm not. So today I want to talk honestly about that, about my roller coaster ride towards 1 million subs on YouTube, the darker side of fame. I don't want to complain in this video, that's not what it's about, but I just want to do like a reality check. Yeah, that's what it's about. Here goes. But first, a shameless plug and some really, really positive, happy news that I actually feel genuinely warm about. I have my own travel show. It's on Euronews Travel, which is the platform that I worked with it on. We filmed it last winter over the course of 6 weeks in southeastern Europe, traveling from Romania to Albania to Bulgaria to Serbia to North Macedonia and doing some really, really crazy local stuff, like trying out donkey cheese, which happens to be the most expensive cheese in the world. Or trying to make horinka, which is like a local liquor in Romania, which is super, super strong, like 70 degrees alcohol. It was rough. Anyway, it was an amazing adventure. The show is absolutely hilarious and beautiful, exploring a different side of the home that you never knew you had. One of the most common questions that I get asked is, how did you get started with YouTube? How did you get started with traveling and with this amazing career that you have? I always kind of chuckle on the inside because it didn't start like a dream. It didn't start like a fairy tale. Everything that you see here today, everything that I do started from a very dark place. 4 years ago, I was a very different person, living a very, very different kind of life. And I had very different priorities in that life. At the time, it looked like I was living the dream. I was married. I had a fantastic, well-paid job in a travel media startup in London. I had all the nice things, pretty clothes, travel, a nice apartment, really nice apartment. Everything anyone could ever want. Or so I thought. I had all those beautiful things, and yet every single day I woke up, took a step out of my apartment to go to work, and the moment I would cross the road or walk over a bridge, I would immediately get these thoughts of some sort of vehicle running me over or someone pushing me over so that I would fall into the river and die. I had a complete sense of disassociation from myself. I didn't know who I was, or so I felt. I had mood swings that controlled my life pretty much, and on some days I wasn't even able to get out of bed. And I had this overwhelming sense of failure, inadequacy, and I wanted to die, quite honestly. It took me a really long time to recognize that I was unhappy, in part because I was living someone else's dream. Eventually, after a 6-month period of partying way too much, spending too much money, breaking hearts and having my heart broken, I quit everything that I knew at the time. I quit everything that was holding me close and tight to that previous life that I was leading and that I knew wasn't making me happy. So I ended a very important relationship in my life. Maybe I'll talk about this in another video in the future. I'm not sure if I'm ready. I quit my job. I left my apartment. I told everybody that I was leaving indefinitely. And I booked a one-way ticket to Nepal and decided that I'd like to tell travel stories. I know this sounds so cliche. Oh my God, like I think about this story and I'm like, wow, did I read like a romance novel? It's just like Eat, Pray, Love or Wild or something, you know? And like the funny thing is, it kind of is, but it's true and it's my story and this is what happened. So at the time when I booked my one-way ticket to Nepal and decided to do travel storytelling on YouTube, I had no background in filmmaking. I studied literature and languages at university, and I had never edited a video in my life, nor had I filmed a video in my life at that stage. And here I am, deciding to travel the world on a one-way ticket with a second-hand camera and a second-hand lens, making travel films. It's like, was I delusional or what? You know, I always say like the world belongs to the brave, but sometimes I'm like, wow, that was a really bold step that you took right there. I had to teach myself everything from scratch. I spent hours upon hours watching YouTube videos about how to edit videos, how to make transitions, how to add sound, how to add effects. I had no guarantees that anything would work out, and I had no idea whether I would actually achieve any sort of success. I mean, I had savings for like a year and a half, and I thought, okay, well, if this doesn't work out, then I'm just gonna go back to work in London or some other place in the world. We'll see what happens. Let's give it a shot. And the thing that was holding me back the most at the time wasn't even my lack of like experience. It was one very specific thing: transitions. You know, when you watch travel videos, a lot of them have these like amazing transitions, like waves turning into mountains and cars turning into bears and things like that. And I was like, how do people make these? I have no idea. This is like some higher level some magic that I have no idea how to do. Can I even be a travel vlogger if I don't know how to make transitions? I still don't know how to make transitions, okay? These transitions that you saw right there, they were made by my editor, who's been working with me for the last 6 months. Hooray! Anyway, transitions don't matter. As it turns out, yes, you can become successful on YouTube without even knowing how to make a single transition. Thank you very much. You guys probably want to know how I got here to 1 million subs on YouTube in such a short time. It's only been 3 years. And honestly, it was all triggered by one really, really traumatic event, which was going viral. It happened in the very first year of my sort of YouTube career. At the time, I was traveling all across Pakistan, making travel videos about beautiful places, interesting people. And you know, people were watching those videos because at the time, there weren't that many vloggers coming over to Pakistan and traveling the place and talking about it. I guess people were interested in seeing the country from that perspective. Anyway, that summer, I had a little collaboration with a local airline and made a little fun little sort of trending video for that airline for Pakistan's Independence Day. Now, the video that we ended up publishing went completely viral, and it split the country into 2 camps. The people who loved the video and thought it was just a bit of fun and it was lovely, and the people who really, really hated it. And I found myself at the center of that conflict. I remember it as if it was yesterday, coming back home in Islamabad after having posted the video on my social channels, and I was just expecting to like relax for the rest of the day, just unwind a little bit. So I sat down on the couch, I switched on the TV, and what I saw on TV made my jaw drop. I saw my face and my video on every single news channel in Pakistan, and all the news anchors talking about it in what seemed like really aggressive ways. I had gone really, really viral without intending to. The video was a hot topic for like 2 weeks. My pages were just growing completely out of control. I remember one day I woke up and I had 50,000 new followers on Instagram. Again, it seems like a reason to celebrate, but honestly, it was mostly intimidating. When you see your face on all the news channels and all the media outlets, and people are commenting about you, about what you do, who you are, what you've done, everything that you can imagine, it honestly feels a little bit disconcerting because you have no more privacy. So I had that experience of going viral, which was, I suppose, that very first trigger that gave me an initial boost in what I was doing. And it was a blessing in disguise. It felt absolutely horrible, intimidating, and terrifying at the time, seeing my face plastered all over the media with me having no control over what was being said. But at the same time, it was a help. I think I'm grateful for what happened, no matter how scary it was. But going viral was just one episode. You cannot expect to go viral. It sometimes happens and sometimes it doesn't. You cannot expect to count on virality to give you sustained growth and a sense of purpose. That just doesn't happen. Going viral is usually a one-off incident that I think for a lot of people is more traumatic than constructive. Certainly it was for me. And this I can tell you from my experience of having gone viral several times and also being a YouTuber. Fame isn't always pretty. So I want to talk about sort of sustained growth and how I think I got here. And that is through looking at my Ikigai. Ikigai is a Japanese philosophy for life and work and finding your purpose and your calling. It's basically the activity, the thing, the purpose that you find at the intersection of a few things, which include the things that you're good at, the things that the world needs, and the things that can earn you a sustained living. I think this spirit is what's led me to go to places like Afghanistan or Iran or even Pakistan or Saudi Arabia. I wanted to see what they were actually like beyond the news headlines. And for some reason, people enjoyed my videos, and I enjoyed making them, and I enjoyed traveling, and I enjoyed having my mind blown. So whenever someone asks me about my secret to success or my philosophy on life or success or work, I always tell them Ikigai. Thank you, Japanese philosophers, for inventing this beautiful concept. The first videos I made were awful. They were so bad. I am like amazed with myself that I even published them on YouTube. I'm about to watch my first ever YouTube video.
This is...
Oh my god, the sound quality is so bad. It's so bad.
Epic. This is amazing.
Oh my god, I've got like a time-lapse thing going on, and it's really terrible because you can't see anything. The image is super shaky. Oh wow, cool. It's like I'm going back in time. That's the narrative. Oh my god, the music is so bad. Oh.
Without a shadow of a doubt, Wrocław is Poland's most
and it's
beautiful
like
and
out
charming
of
city.
focus.
I
Like my face is out of focus in this video. Well, kudos to myself for actually publishing it. You know, one of the most common questions I get from you guys is, how do I get started? And this is how you get started. You just get started. You publish that first post, that first video, no matter how bad it is. Eventually, you will get better, you will improve. You know, I think we all experience this feeling of like the gap between where we currently are in terms of creativity or technical ability or whatever, and where we want to be. And there's that sort of that big gap between those two things, which can feel very intimidating, like you cannot cross it. But believe me, bit by bit, video by video, you get to that point. And then that point moves a little bit because you change your targets, you change how you feel about your future skills, you change your dreams and aspirations. So it's a forever moving dynamic. But trust me, you will get better. And I like to think that I also got better. There's a whole bunch of videos that I deleted, archived, don't want to watch them ever again. I used to be a very different kind of narrator and storyteller. That's fine. Sometimes people will look at your work from a long time ago and judge you on the basis of that work. That happens. As a YouTuber, your life is out in public, your work is out in public. No matter how far you've come, some people simply will never recognize that. And that's fine. But what you need to do is you need to know that you're growing. You need to be closing that gap. You need to be developing creatively and proving to yourself that you're getting better and better, and that you're developing and that you're going somewhere, hopefully towards your goal. Here we are today. 1 million subs on YouTube, I don't know, 600,000 on Instagram, 800,000 on Facebook, millions of video views, countless amazing opportunities in beautiful countries traveled, fantastic people, and I'm sitting here completely confused as to how I should feel about all of this. It took me such a long time to make this video because yes, 1 million subs is a fantastic achievement, but I cannot deny that it makes me feel completely inadequate, like an imposter, like I don't deserve it. And I'm not expecting you to now say in the comments that I deserve it. That's not the point. I'm just saying that people see us YouTubers, influencers, I hate that word, and they think, oh my god, she's got it all sorted out, she's got a handle on everything. No, I have no idea what I'm doing. I just turned 30 and I mean, probably now is like the least adult I've ever felt in my entire life. We don't have our together. I mean, maybe some people do, I don't know, but I certainly don't have my shit together. I don't know what my future holds in the next 2 years, in the next 5 years. I don't know what it means to have 1 million subs on YouTube. It's a completely abstract concept. It means almost everything, but also almost nothing. Can you imagine what 1 million people even looks like if they're gathered in one place? Because I certainly cannot. So it feels a bit overwhelming and a bit intimidating. I'm trying to figure out what it all means, but I think what it all means is that I just need to be even more true to myself on this channel than I ever was before. Not that I was ever lying or anything like that, but I guess with so many people watching, you sometimes feel like you have to say things in certain ways or be a certain way in order for people to like you. And I guess I need to realize now that I don't need people to like me. I don't need everybody to like me. I just need to like myself. And I need to like what I make here on this channel. And I think that's the most important thing. No matter if you have 100 subs, 1 million subs, or 100 million subs. The closer I was getting to 1 million subs, to that magic number, the more pressure I was putting on myself and the more anxiety I felt about being online, because I felt like everybody was watching. 1 million it's a lot of people, but it's not that much. Anyway, I had this like unwavering feeling that everybody was watching and everybody was judging. So this ended up giving me increasing levels of creative anxiety. I felt like I didn't know how to make a really good video. I felt like if I wanted to publish a video, it had to be absolutely perfect, whilst at the same time I didn't know what perfection actually meant. And I think a lot of us struggle or can struggle with this kind of creative anxiety. The more successful we are, the more that success becomes filled with anxiety and dread because we don't want to lose it. And I think that's what creates even more creative blockage. And I think that's what I've been experiencing over the last few months. All right, I hope this is okay. It's just getting dark outside, so I've switched on the lights here. Anyway, I've got a glass of wine in my hand and I wanted to say cheers, na zdrowie, whatever you say in your language, cheers to liking ourselves. There's one goal I have for this year, that's what it is. Anyway, I wanted to talk a little bit about the future of this channel, and the future of this channel you will find out in the next 4 to 6 weeks. I've got something huge, monumental brewing. It's actually a pretty big change. I am not even exaggerating. It's going to change how I travel. It's going to change the kinds of videos that I make, and I really can't wait for you to see it. It's so exciting! I will still be traveling, just in a very, very different way. I hope that you stick around. One of the biggest fears that I had over the last few months in the run-up to this huge milestone here on YouTube was, I had this anxiety around being boxed in, about having this one single niche that I would always have to stick to. That just gave me so much pressure. I was like, well, what if I want to change to like beauty vlogging, or what if I want to change to gardening, whatever? Would people still accept me? Would people still like me? And it's so funny because as a 30-year-old woman asking myself these questions, it sounds almost ridiculous, but it's completely normal. It's very human to want to be accepted and to want to continue being part of a tribe, of a community. I think that's what pushed me. This kind of anxiety and pressure pushed me into making that change that's coming up in a few weeks. And I'm really grateful. Change is absolutely essential to creative growth, and risk is always part of change. And I think without risk and without change, you cannot continue growing. And this is what creative expression is all about, isn't it? I mean, having a YouTube channel, traveling the world, it's work, but it's also about having fun and enjoying and experiencing and staying curious. So I think these are my new goals. I want to like myself, and I want to like what I do, and I want to like how I grow creatively. I want to take risks in that creativity, and I want to keep changing and growing in that creativity. And if I can do these things, then I think that leaves me a happy person. Yes, there will always be sources of anxiety and pressure. Yes, there will always be ups and downs and lows and highs. But at the end of the day, as long as you're moving forward towards your calling, I feel like you're fulfilling your life's purpose. This has been my story so far. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here. Some of you have been here since the very beginning, and I cannot express how grateful I am for your support and for your understanding, for your empathy throughout these years. I know it's been a wild ride. And this is an invitation to the next chapter. Remember, there's one thing that doesn't change, and that is the world belongs to the brave. All right? See you in the next episode. Mwah!